Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair Gensler, welcome back. It is good to see you despite our significant disagreements. I do appreciate your dedication and enjoy working with you. As you know, the SEC has historically administered securities laws on a bipartisan basis generally. During your confirmation process, I expressed concerns that you might stray from this tradition and use the SEC to advance a liberal political agenda, such as combating global warming and advancing so-called social justice, and push the legal bounds of the SEC's authorities to pursue disclosures that are not financially material to the reporting company. Unfortunately, this appears to be exactly what you're doing. You've added mandatory disclosures on global warming and, quote, human capital, end quote, such as board and employee racial and gender identity to the SEC's agenda. You've essentially said that if large investment advisors and pension funds like BlackRock and CalPERS, who invest other people's money, if they want information about global warming or workforce diversity, it must be disclosed, even if it's financially insignificant and irrelevant to a particular business. Even President Obama's SEC chair, Mary Jo White, opposed using the SEC's disclosure powers for the purpose of, quote, exerting societal pressure on companies to change behavior rather than to disclose financial information that primarily informs investment decisions, end quote. That's exactly what you're doing. And you're well on your way to politicizing the PCAOB after firing all the existing board members. See, it's not the SEC's role nor its expertise as an independent financial regulator with zero democratic accountability to address these political and social issues. Similarly, I've worried that you would favor the paternalistic push by some on the left to restrict investor freedom under the guise of protection while actually harming retail investors. Such harm may result from your apparent opposition to payment for order flow, which helped allow brokers to offer commission-free trading. Payment for order flow allows a broker to keep a portion of the price improvement obtained by routing a transaction to a wholesaler. To my knowledge, the SEC has not demonstrated any failure or harm associated with payment for order flow, which the SEC has allowed for many years. Banning payment for order flow could very well have the effect of eliminating commission-free trading, which would be a grave disservice to average investors. And likewise, you've criticized mobile apps that make investing easy and fun as, quote, gamification, end quote. But in my view, delivering a product that customers like isn't a bad thing. And I worry that you're attempting to fix problems that don't exist today. Today is the best time ever to be a retail investor in the United States of America. Retail investors receive the best execution. A person of modest means can share in the gains of the stock market at negligible transaction costs. We see the tightest bid-offer spreads ever. At least 4 major developments for retail investors made this all possible. Commission-free trading, accounts with no minimum balances, low or no-fee mutual funds and ETFs, and, yes, user-friendly technology like mobile apps. And investors can even voluntarily use a broker who declines payment for order flow but may therefore charge a commission. Now, despite decades of rapidly growing numbers of retail investors participating in stock market gains and enjoying more product opportunities at lower costs, some of my colleagues suggest that the markets are somehow rigged against retail investors. I'd like to hear how it is rigged. Don't retail investors receive dividends like institutional investors? Aren't retail investors entitled to best execution like institutional investors? Don't the value of retail investors' shares and those of institutional investors both increase when a stock price goes up? In my view, the SEC's job is not to make retail investing more expensive or unpleasant or difficult. In America, adults investing their own money should be free to decide how to do so. Let me turn to cryptocurrency, which together with the blockchain technologies, this is a very, very important and very promising new technology. As you know, cryptocurrencies are actively traded on many platforms. A really important question is whether a cryptocurrency is a security for regulatory purposes under the Howey or some other test. Now, based on your public statements, it's pretty clear that you believe that some are securities, but others are not. So I'm frustrated by the lack of helpful SEC public guidance explaining how you make this distinction. What makes some of them securities while others are not securities? Now, I understand that the SEC staff will privately provide feedback and analysis on whether a cryptocurrency is a security, but why is this analysis private? Why not publicly announce what characteristics make a cryptocurrency a security or not a security? In other words, how do you apply Howey and the Reeves tests to these new products? Why wait to make the SEC's views known only when it swoops in with an enforcement action, in some cases years after the product was launched? This is regulation by enforcement, and it's very objectionable. And I'm concerned it can stifle domestic innovation. So, Mr. Chairman, I hope we'll get a better understanding of your views on these and a number of other issues. There are many things on which you and I agree and where we could work together to protect investors, to ensure fair, orderly, efficient markets, and facilitate capital formation. I hope we can work together on these really important parts of the SEC's mission.